Hey, good evening, folks, and welcome to An Hour with Bob. And this is a sad day on this show. An Hour with Bob's been on TV since 1992, and my director's leaving me. He's leaving town, he's leaving the state, he's moving south. He's moving to go to become a Southern boy. He's been with this studio 30 years, and I don't think he can be replaced. I really don't. The guy's done so much for this station, for the studio, and certainly for An Hour with Bob and Bob's Big Adventure. John Flanagan, we're going to miss you. John? Well, come here, John. Come here, John. We're going to miss you, John.
Hey, who's directing? Who's directing?
You've been here now, how many years now? 30? Is that what you said?
Over 30, yeah, about 32 years.
32 years.
32 years.
And you're leaving us.
And I have to leave. Long story, I'll be down in Virginia, Chesapeake, Virginia.
Chesapeake, Virginia? Oh, you're over there, huh?
Yeah, and that's where I'll be.
Yeah?
But I'm on the East Coast, I'm in the same time zone, so
Right.
we got you covered.
Well, I'll be sending you a whole bunch of tapes and everything, because we got to go back to the Bob's Big Adventure from the early 90s, and
we'll get
the
them.
Russian trips, and
We'll
the
get them.
Hungary trips, and the Brazilian trips, and all over the world. I haven't even introduced
here.
my guests tonight yet.
Oh, hang on.
Oh,
Let me
get
back
over there. Let's
Let me get back directing.
get over there. Go direct. John Flanagan. He's leaving me. He's leaving me. I hope he's going to still be around, though. Anyway, folks, with me tonight is a special guest. Guy's become a friend, a good friend, and a guy that's done an awful lot as the mayor of his city of North Providence. Mayor Charlie Lombardi. How you doing, Charlie?
I'm doing good, Bob. Thank
Now,
you.
what should I call you? What should I call you? Should I call you Mayor? Should I call you Charlie? Should I call
Charlie's okay.
Charlie's okay?
Yeah, when you don't forget where you came from, and Charlie's okay.
Charlie's okay. Charlie's Luxury Cleaners.
That's correct, sir.
Now, how long you been Luxury Cleaners? If it's been yours since
70. Well,
the family.
yes, we're enjoying 72 years of success this year.
Wow, 72 years. In the
We
cleaning
employ
business.
approximately 40 people. We have 5 stores now.
You do. I know that. I was going to
We
ask
do,
you that.
yeah, so
Where are your
it's good.
stores? I know. I know Smithfield Avenue.
Our plant is on Smithfield Avenue, right on the Pawtucket Lincoln line. We have a store on Smith Street in North Providence. We have a store at 295 in Mendon and Cumberland. We have a store on Route 116, right up at almost at the corner of Route 7 and 116.
Oh, I know where that. Yeah, yeah.
Across the street from Crickets there, what used to be Crickets.
Right.
And we're also now our newest store.
Crossroads or something they call that.
Yeah,
now, right?
Crossroads now, yeah. And we're across the street. We're also at in the old Bridget O's Plaza in North Smithfield and Slatersville.
Oh God, I know where that is too. Yeah, yeah. Now, what route is that? The Bridget's Plaza there. What route is that?
117, I think it is. Yeah. No, I'm not sure.
117.
All I know is it's North
I
Smithfield,
should know my numbers. And I
Slatersville.
do know my numbers, and it's got me here. It's not 117. It'll come. Oh, it's 102.
102.
It's 102.
102.
So, how's things going up in the great city of North Providence? I see some action going on, a business going on, building.
We have quite a bit of construction right
Middle
now.
Spring
Bob.
Avenue. My God.
We do. It's great. We chase that business, Bob. When you come from business, this is easy. So
Right.
I'm on the phone asking businesses to think about relocating
Right.
or coming to North Providence. Right now, between the 2 new schools and our new public safety complex, just those 3 projects, we have about 110 million.
Wow. The
110
new
million.
school is what school?
We
High
have
school, grammar school?
No,
What
we
is it?
have 2 new elementary
Elementary
schools,
school.
and we're going to be updating the other 4 elementary schools. And the high school's in pretty good condition right
Yep.
now, Bob.
I know. I was there the other day. As a matter of fact.
So going good. And then, as far as the businesses, both on the avenue and some of the other main roads in town, we're doing good. We really, really are. It's more construction than we have ever seen in our town. Yeah.
I mean, I live close by. I'm right next door in Pawtucket. I'm always on Middle Spring Avenue, it seems. And a lot of people, I trick a lot of people because I claim to know all the routes in Rhode Island. Here I get stumped already. But the Middle Spring Avenue, a lot of people don't know that's Route 15.
Yes, that is Route 15.
Which
and
starts-
it's probably the third
Busiest
roadway
in the state of Rhode
Island.
Island. I thought it was the second.
No, I think it's about the third right now. Some
Post Road's
days,
number one,
yeah,
right?
sometimes I think it's the number one.
Oh, I think
because,
it has been, I
you
think.
try to get from, Centerdale to Pawtucket, I mean,
a
and
run.
someday it'll, take you some
Depending
time.
on what time of day it
That's
is,
correct.
right?
That's
Well,
correct.
well, that comes with success. When you get all the stores and all the businesses
good.
that are operating over there, I go to the Stop and Shop a lot of times.
You see, our problem in North Providence is we don't have a land mass, Bob, to attract big business to come in
Right.
to help alleviate
Like
the
it-
tax
right,
burden.
right.
So our way of, gaining success was by doing more with less, okay? And just making sure that if a store is vacant, we get a new tenant for that
Yes.
person. We hear that someone needs a new, more square footage, then we go out of our way to try to find them
Right.
a new location in our town. Because we don't
keep
want
'em.
anyone to leave, yes.
Right.
Besides trying to attract new business.
To you, that's a failure, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Where I come from, hey, listen, when we came to this town, we were advised to claim bankruptcy. We were one step above junk bond.
Right.
We were borrowing $10.5 million a year for cash flow. So think about this.
Wow.
I come to the town, and now I'm having to continue to do business with some people that I did business with personally.
Yep.
So you come to town and they say to me, "Oh, Charlie, we can't send you the pot. You guys don't pay." That was hurtful, Bob.
Wow.
And I said, I can straighten this out. And when we were advised to claim bankruptcy, I said, not my integrity, my family's integrity, the Lombardi name, not going to happen. I said, I can straighten this out, and we have.
Now, what have you done to straighten it out? What
Well,
allowed
there
you
was
to
some
straighten it
there
out?
was some tough choices, Bob. One year we had to raise the taxes 17%.
Oh,
It hurt. We assured the people this was a start of our
recovery.
coming out, so to say.
Sure.
But we closed the fire station. I drove those trucks for 21 years. I know how fast I
You
could
did?
get into that neighborhood. Yes. Yeah.
No, that was a volunteer fire
I was
department.
a volunteer
until
fireman
when?
at the corner of Middle Spring and Charles. So in
Yeah, what is that?
Maryville.
Maryville. I remember that. Yeah.
21 years very active, and so I knew, the time, the response time to particular neighborhoods.
Sure.
And I'm saying this station's not needed. Now, it was a battle. I mean,
Always
it
is,
was a
right?
battle, of the harassment to my family, what have you.
What do you mean the harassment?
Well, picketing and all that nonsense, and the phone calls during the night, and it was a little disturbing. But in any case, the thing that bothered me, Bob, is that we closed the fire station. No one was losing a job.
Right. Oh,
So
no one.
at that point, no one lost a
spots
job.
got
Right.
el-
So my
eliminated.
position was, hey, look, what are you fighting for? A
Right.
pumper? I'm fighting for it too because it's $400,000 to replace it. So now it's going to give me a spare truck. More importantly, let me say this to you: 3.5 years later, the ISO, Insurance Services Organization, now they rate fire services all over the country.
Right.
We are now the only Class 1 ISO rated fire department in the state of Rhode Island, one of only 64 in the country.
Really.
So the point I'm trying to make
Now,
to
how
you
does
is
that happen?
in
When
your
you-
gut feel, in your
Right.
gut, in your stomach, in your heart. If you feel it's the right thing to do in this business, you got to roll with it. Now, I fought, and it was a tough fight. But now think about this, I made the North Providence Fire Department a better fire department
Right.
after closing a fire station.
And not costing any jobs.
As a matter of fact, people are saving money on their fire insurance because of the rating.
Right. Now, is the fire insurance separate? I mean, is the
No, you pay-
not the fire insurance separate. I mean, it's the fire. Is it levied separately? When I lived in East Greenwich, it used to be.
No, because you had a
separate.
fire district.
Right.
Now the town took over the fire
I
department.
know. Yeah, I
there.
heard that. Yeah.
So no, our fire department is part of our town budget.
Right.
9.6 million.
Wow.
Yeah, 9.6 million.
It can be. What's the most expensive expense in a city government? Is it?
It's the fire department.
Fire department.
Yes.
And then what's second? Police.
Police.
And then-
DPW. Those are the bigger departments.
Teachers.
Yeah, I'm talking about the municipal side of government.
okay.
But the teachers, yes, they are. They're actually the biggest expenditure. Education.
Yeah.
Education's about 55, maybe 58% of our budget.
Of the whole budget.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we have a $100 million budget right now.
What was it when you started? First of all, how long ago did you start?
So I came here 11 years ago. I ran a special election. And I will tell you this, Bob, that not one elected official supported me.
I know that feeling.
Not one union supported me.
Yes.
And we were successful. So it kind of told me that people wanted change.
Sure, sure. Well, it
Again-
also showed to me, being an outsider, but not that far from an outsider, I mean, being from Pawtucket, that you really wanted it, number one,
Yeah.
and you were determined, number two.
Because I knew,
you
Bob-
ran a few times before that.
Yes, and I knew that I could fix this town.
Right.
I knew it. And we did. It's good, it's going good. So now we are a AA bond rated town. And we have that
From-
same 10 million
from
in
a
the
junk
bank.
bond.
Yeah, one step above junk bond.
Now, go ahead.
And we've gotten six increases in our bond rating since I've been there, which brought us to a AA bond rating.
And what does that do for your borrowing power?
Well, I'll explain to you what it does. So now we just, and people will say to me, why are you so concerned about the bond rating?
That's big.
But when you come from business, this is the way.
I know the answer
Yeah.
to the question I'm asking.
So in any case, we now had to go out to bond for 2 new schools. And by the way, we chose to bond and put that on a referendum 2 years ago. So we're 2
Right.
years ahead of this program that the state wants to put forward now. We identified the shortfalls in our schools and we put it to the people. But because of the bond rating, we're saving $2.5 million.
Wow.
On the
On
school-
juice, on interest.
That's correct. Because of the bond rating.
Well, it's like you're rating, folks. It's like you're rating when you borrow money. If you're rated at 600, you got a 600-point rating.
Absolutely.
You're going to pay more for the money than somebody who's got a 750 rating.
And our debt ratio is, I mean, it's next to nothing. So we're in good shape. We are really, and it makes you feel good that you know that the people are going to be safe. You're not, overburdening them with the tax structure.
Yeah.
We were not in good shape. We were not. So.
And you made a few enemies back in the day.
When
Did they come around though? Did they really?
Who's that now?
The fire
enemies?
department, really.
Well, the fire department, even the police department. Yeah, they're coming around. I think when you can prove to them that you've been fair, you've been firm,
Well, that's the important
but you've
thing.
been fair.
Well, that is the important thing.
And I mean,
Charlie.
they'll continue to take a shot at you, and I'm okay with that. I have big shoulders, so look, I just assume, I'm there for one reason: straighten it out and make sure the people are treated more than fair, but everyone needs to work together. And I think once they get that sense of business mentality,
Right.
then we can all get along.
Now you're on what? Your third? You've had 3 elections.
Yes, yeah. We have. In the last election, we did well. We won by 76% of the vote.
Really?
Yeah. So I think when you can prove to the people that even if you needed a 25, 50-cent tax increase, if you could prove to the people where that money's going,
Right.
and show them, they'll support it. I.e. the bond for the schools, $75 million, Bob. People told me, don't get involved in that. This
Right.
could hurt you for re-election.
Sure.
And I said, look, it's the right thing for this town. It's the right thing for education, the youth. It's the right thing. So we went out and we supported the bond big time. I asked people who are going to vote for me if you could support the bond. You know what the result was?
What?
The difference in the total vote to support the bond and for me was 600 votes.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
So people will.
They'll spend when they have to,
Yes,
and they know
when
it's
they
for the
have
right
to.
reason.
Yeah,
Like you
that's
said, they
correct.
know where the money's going.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
And by the way, look at this now. Our town, I read the report about a month ago. Homes are being sold in our town, second quickest in the state.
Wow.
45 days.
Yep.
No, 45 days is the quickest in our town. It's 48 days.
Nice.
We're okay.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I actually looked at a house on several years ago when I was buying a house, I don't know, 2006, I guess it was. It was North Providence, East Greenwich, and a couple other towns. And I looked at 2 houses in North Providence off of Middlesbrough.
So it's been rewarding. It's a great feeling. And Bob, I swear to God, I have a good time. Every day I have a good time.
Oh, I can tell. I mean, I took pictures. You know, I work for the Lieutenant Governor, who you're a very good friend of.
Listen, he's
You're alike. You're a lot alike.
I can tell you this, I have a great deal of respect for Dan McKee. I think he's the future for the state. Again, comes from a family of 100-year success in business.
Right, McKee Oil.
He was faced with the same situation I was faced with, straightening out a town that was not financially in good condition. And he did that. So he can relate to people. He can relate to he knows how to pay I call it pay the nut, pay the electricity, make payroll,
Sure.
and all those obligations. He can relate to that. That's what we need.
Not a lifetime
No, we do
politician. Not someone that
absolutely.
only knows politics.
Hey, listen, let me get right to the point here. I mean, you know, if you want to talk about Dan McKee, and I'd be glad to talk about the governor, anyone. I mean, you know, I'm going to be begging those people that I know to make sure that they support Dan McKee for lieutenant governor and not his opponent, because, you know, he's got no clue of what's going on.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, his opponent, he thinks that people should enjoy the same amenities of that person that's working hard every day, that middle class person.
Right.
And that's the person I'm concerned about also.
Sure.
The person that works in one of my dry cleaning plants that's working very, very hard for his family. But he's working.
Yes.
Dan McKee's opponent, he wants someone that's going to stay home and not have to work, enjoy the same amenities as this fella. So when you talk about the middle class, I'm for the middle class.
Sure.
And I got people that work for me 42 years, 39 years, 33 years, 27 years. I know how to take care of my help. So don't tell me that, you know, what I have to do about the sick time and all that nonsense.
Right. And that's what he wants to do, right?
Yeah, yeah. He wants
to
people,
legislate it.
Yeah, he wants to legislate that it's going to cost us, this first program that he wants to put together, or he did put together, is going to cost us $12,000. Because think about this. 1 hour sick time for every 30 hours work. The first proposal was 7 days a year. Now it's 7 days a year. If you got 40 employees, that's 280 days. If they only make $100 a day, that's $28,000. How much can I charge you to press the suit?
Wow.
So the new program or proposal is for 12 days. And I mean, it's going to cost us $12,000.
$12,000 a year.
So a year.
A person.
Right. So who are we helping? Because you've got that middle class person that if the answer is for me to raise the prices, someone's going to lose a job. I can't afford to raise prices.
Correct.
So who are we helping?
Right. Well, that's the same thing with the minimum wage. Because I used to be in the restaurant business. And if raising the minimum wage, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1, okay.
Right.
But when you're talking about going from 9 to 16, it's going to cost a lot of jobs. They think it's not, but it is. Of course it is.
Listen, I've talked to friends of mine, and they're telling me, that have got multiple locations in different businesses. Hey, look, you know the guy Bob Venturini? Yeah, but see him? If he's getting 3 weeks vacation, now he's going to get 2. I can't afford it. You see Charlie Lombardi? He's getting 2, now he's going to get 1. I can't afford it. So my question is, who are we helping here?
Right.
What's going on?
You're certainly not helping the worker.
No.
The real worker.
And the bottom line is, the other side of the coin, Bob, that I have as a business guy is, you have a problem getting help. You know why? Because this government makes it too easy for people to stay home and get paid for 99 weeks.
Right.
Now think about that.
Yeah.
Now you hire a guy and gets the check after 2 weeks. He goes, "That it? I can make that much staying home."
Right. And not have to dress up, not have to go to work.
I mean, something's wrong with the system.
And then you see him. I go in the milk store 2 or 3 times a week. And I was talking to the guy in the milk store the other day, And they are coming in and out of that store, and they're buying these flavored things. I get they put in. I don't smoke pot, folks. They buy these things. I guess they fill them with pot, right? And they're all different flavors. And they also have now they have the tobacco that they can roll and put their pot in. Roll the tobacco, roll the pot in the thing, and they charge them. They're like $2 for each package. They are in and out of that store. By the time I go from the door to the back of the store to get my gallon of milk, which is the only thing I ever buy there, and they're nice people, and I grab a couple lottery tickets, and by that time there's at least 2 or 3 people already there just buying those things. That's all they buy. And they're in and out of the store. Or I was talking to the guy, and I said, how many flavors you got here? He had 3 big complete rows of these different flavors. I mean, he's got some of the oddest flavors. He says, we're allowed in Pawtucket to have a lot more than in like Central Falls doesn't allow that many flavors for some reason. They allow different amounts of them in each city, I guess. I don't know. But the point is that they're home all day. That's all they do. They smoke pot. And you think it's going to be better when if they make it legal in this state?
I'm opposed to that.
So am I. It makes no sense because there's enough things to make people stupid in my eyes. And people, when they're high or they're drunk, are stupid.
I think the statistics will show that it's not good. So if we're going to, get into this, marijuana business, so to say, just to get additional revenue for the state, I don't think
it's
that's
a negative
the right answer.
revenue. In the long run, it's going to be a negative
I don't think that's
revenue.
the answer, Bob.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I think it's a negative thing.
So, I mean, listen, everyone dances to a different band, so to say, but
Right.
I'm not in favor of that.
As long as it's not legal, folks, regular people that follow the law won't do it. As soon as you make it legal, everybody's going to do it.
Absolutely. Think about
Or
it.
at least try it. And then how do the cops enforce it when they stop somebody? They don't. How do they know
This is
when they're
going to be
high?
so difficult for law enforcement. I mean, come on, it's going to be difficult. So I hope that the legislators, the General Assembly, does not cave in, to the weakness or the fact that look how much
Look
more
how much money we got to go. Look at the money mass it's getting. This type of stuff. Well, think about it. Think about years ago what happened in Connecticut. They got 2 casinos in Connecticut, 2 of the biggest casinos in the entire world, Charlie, and yet they're near bankruptcy.
That's right.
How does that happen? They were getting $100 million a month out of there.
But I think the whole reason for a lot of this, Bob, is that elected officials need to step up to the plate and to be able to say no when no needs to be said.
Right, yeah.
You need to have the courage,
Yep.
to do it.
Yeah, like exactly what you've done. Like
You
you've
need
done
to have
in
the
North
courage to
Providence.
do it. And the only way that, listen, I love this job. I'll kill for this job. I love it. But I thank God every day that I have my businesses to fall back on.
Right.
I think that helps you,
Well, because you don't
make
need
these
the job.
decisions.
You're doing the job
I
because
don't want to
it's the
say
right thing to
that
do.
candidly, but
Right. Yeah, no, it's
you're
true.
right.
It's true.
And it helps you say no when no needs to be said, or not to have to worry. Oh, that family may not vote for me, or whatever.
Right.
I can't operate that way. So
Well, it's good that you're in that position.
yeah, I thank God every day.
Yeah.
And by the way, I go there 5:30 every morning to my business,
Wow.
to maybe 8 o'clock, because that's where.
That's where your bread is, right? That's where your cash flow is. All right, Providence water issue. What's going on there?
Well, I think it's a
They're
mistake.
they're going to sell it?
Yeah, well, the thing is, first of all, Providence is thinking about selling, the Providence water to help, address their pension woes.
Yep.
Every other community has pension woes,
Right.
and we're addressing it in-house. This is a city of Providence pension problem. No one else's, not North Providence, not Johnston, not Cranston, or any other surrounding community that
Right.
purchases water from Providence Water. Quite honestly, I don't have a problem with Providence Water. We call them, they address all of our needs, any problems whatsoever. They're very, very responsible individuals. I don't think that Well, let me ask you. My question is, where do the ratepayers or the taxpayers of town of North Providence, how do they benefit by this?
Oh, God, no, they don't, or Pawtucket. We don't get
No,
water
but
from
I'm just
there.
saying, but that's correct. And here's the point. I'd be more upset if I was in Pawtucket, if I was in Cumberland,
Right.
if I was in Lincoln, or any community that,
That
doesn't
doesn't
buy
get-
the water
right.
because you're going to pay more for the sewage charge.
Right.
Listen,
Which is ridiculous as is.
everybody, and
Oh my God.
listen, everyone is tired of paying the excessive sewer charges at this point. So now, do I blame Narragansett Bay? Listen, here's the issue I have with Narragansett Bay. Two issues. One, you're going to go out and borrow 300 or 400 million. Someone's paying. It's just a matter of who and when.
Right.
So don't tell us that the rates are not going up. That's number one.
Right. You're talking about they got to borrow that money in order to buy.
Yeah,
the
so they're going to
Providence water.
borrow 300 or 400 million,
Right.
and they're saying the rates are not going to go up. I mean, I was born at night, but not last
Not
night.
last night. It ain't going to happen. It can't happen.
So the issue now is there's two issues. Number one, Providence needs to bail themselves out,
Sure.
not everyone else. What are they going to do next? Try to sell Roger Williams Park? No, really. And if they got $1 billion pension situation,
Right,
this is
deficit.
300 million. Where are they going to get the other 6 or 7?
Right. In other words, it's still not going to be fixed.
No, absolutely. It's
If
not
this
going to be
was- that's
fixed.
not a fix-all. This is not a fix-all.
You know, and the other question is, Bob, that's floating out there, and I agree. You know, this was mentioned a few years back, and it was, I'm almost positive at that time they said the ratepayers own Providence Water,
Right.
not the city of Providence. I think this is going to be a legal battle, and by the way, I'm hoping that doesn't even get to the legal battle. I'm hoping that the House of Representatives says no. This is not a good idea because I stated this on the Lively Experience last week that I think this is one of those sound good, feel good, no good ideas.
I don't even think it sounds good.
Maybe
Again-
it sounds, but it sounds good to those people that think they could benefit from this. Or
How?
again, how is the reason?
How?
You know.
How can they benefit from it?
But again, no one could tell me how the town of North Providence, the taxpayers in the town of North Providence are going to benefit from this. It's not happening. It is not happening. You know, what I would ask, what should I do? Put Middle Spring Avenue up for sale to help address my pension woes? And then the other issue I have, now I do have an issue with Narragansett Bay. You would be familiar with this. So there's a major sewer line that runs down Middle Spring Avenue. So from the Pawtucket line at Dora Street
Right?
to Route 146,
Gotcha.
that line has been a problem for the last 30 years.
Yep.
So I know in the last 30 years, that line has been broken 5 times. Now, think about this.
So why not replace the whole line?
Someone made an agreement, and this was BC before Charlie, that the town of North Providence would be responsible to maintain that line. So in the last, not 30 years, in the last 25 years,
Where's your cut for doing that?
this is the point I'm trying to make. The town of North Providence has expended probably $150,000, maybe to $160,000 repairing that line. It's deep and it's big. So you're saying to me that we, the taxpayers in town of North Providence,
Right.
have to maintain that line.
Oh, if a pipe broke, you mean?
Yeah, we have to fix it. Because somewhere, we have Narragansett Bay in litigation right now. Because I'm saying you're running the sewage through that line
Right.
that's on our property.
Yeah.
I mean, not to our town, and you're saying that I got to maintain it. So my question to Narragansett Bay is very simple. If you're thinking about borrowing 300 or 400 million, take over the maintenance of that line
Sure.
also.
That's the least they could do.
So, and I'm sure that'll get squared away, and we're in litigation right now with them because I'm saying, wait a minute, who signed this agreement? They're saying there's an agreement, and I think it might have been Sal Mancini at the time, signed an agreement to let them take over the sewer system in the town, that the town agreed to maintain that line. That is a major line going through the town. So I'm saying, okay, so you're running the sewage through the town, and we're going to have to maintain it. That's not going to happen too much longer, I can guarantee you that. You found 300 or 400 million or a reason to buy the Providence water?
Sure.
So
Well,
that's
what is their reason? Why would, I don't get it. I
do
understand why
I.
Providence wants it, but I don't understand why the sewer commission wants it.
there's a reason that I think that's a $64,000 question, and you're trying to tell people again, Bob, not to be redundant, you're going to borrow $300 or $400 million, and it's not going to cost any money, or the rates are not going to. Where's the money come from? And if it's that good, then why isn't Narragansett Bay turning that additional money back to the ratepayers? Because they're
Yeah.
tired of paying.
Right, right, yeah, God, yeah.
So, again, we will be out in the front opposing this proposal. Not even going to say deal, proposal. I don't know what else to say, and I don't know. See, there's other communities that are saying, well, you know, Narragansett Bay, I really don't have an issue with Narragansett Bay. But the issue is, why should Providence even be selling it,
Right.
okay? It's,
Well, first thing, it's not a cure-all,
Yeah.
like you said.
not.
That would be, then you might think, well, maybe it is the capital city, we'll help them out, we'll fix all their ills, and they're all set. But if it's not a cure-all, then why would you want to be involved in it at all?
well, you know, the city's getting, right now, not only from us, the city's getting a lot of help from Pawtucket, Cranston, Johnston. Hey, listen, in the past week, I monitored the fire radio in my car, and I know the rescue truck in Situate has gone to the city of Providence 2 or 3 times in the last week. Situate. So the number of communities are already helping the city of
How much
Providence.
is my city helping them, Pawtucket?
Well, Pawtucket and North Providence are probably maybe helping them, and Cranston maybe helping them the most. You know, because
They're
they
joining
abut.
cities, yeah, yeah.
And by the way, every now and then we'll call them, or we'll use
Sure.
Pawtucket. Pawtucket will use us. But it's a little lopsided for the number of times we go to the city and they come to us. So I think the other communities are helping the city in different ways. But enough's enough. Now you want our taxpayers or ratepayers to pay more money for the water to help you bail out your pension.
Right, right. Somebody told me the other night, you know, it's always an issue about the firemen bringing in the fire trucks in front of the, like, Stop and Shop or whatever, Dave's Market, and going in, doing their shopping. You know, somebody else mentioned to me the other day that they saw a truck, and they always park in the fire zone, right? Parked in the fire zone, and one of the firemen went in and did the shopping in CVS, and come out and got in the rig, and with 3 or 4, I don't know how many have to be on the truck. I guess, what is the story about the firemen taking the truck to like a store, a grocery store?
Well, you know, listen, that can get out of control if you don't monitor it. We have an agreement in town that 1 truck per shift, per station, that's it. Now, I agree, should the firefighters be shopping before they come to work? Yes. But you know, there's a certain point where you try to go along a little to get along, but there's a fine line there.
Sure. Not to
you know,
abuse it,
not
you
to
mean.
go to the bank, not to go, you
Get your
know,
prescription.
yeah. So our guys, you know, they seem to be adhering to the rules and
Right.
regs right now, and that was part of that global agreement, because they said that, you know, I wouldn't let them eat.
You wouldn't let them eat.
Yeah. So I said, what do you mean by that? Well, he won't let us go shopping. No, you can go shopping. Go shopping on your own.
Right, yeah,
But we bent a little
yeah.
and, you know, agreed that 1 truck per shift, per station, that's it. And it's monitored. They have to call on the air that they're going out, and we monitor it. So our guys, and by the way, when they go to the market, you need to park on the side.
Not in front.
No, on the side. And 1 guy needs to stay in the truck. You can't leave the truck.
Yeah, that would be embarrassing, having a truck stolen and drive.
Well, I
driving
almost
away.
took a truck. I almost took a truck one day.
Did you?
Oh yeah. Yep. And that's how that started too, because I drove them for 21 years, so I could drive the truck.
Oh, it's funny. I mean, it really is how.
But right now, things seem to be going okay with us. We'll be, negotiating a new contract pretty soon, and we'll see how that goes.
How's your chief doing, your police chief?
We got a new police chief. He's doing great.
Good guy.
We had some issues, with the police department. And he's finding out, how tough some of these guys could be or demanding.
Right.
And he'll get there. We're doing okay. We really, really are. And listen, I don't micromanage, but he knows I got his back. So sometimes you got to be firm as long as you're fair.
Right. Well, nobody will ever question you about not being right out there. I mean, right or wrong, you're.
Well, sometimes listen. Sometimes we haven't been perfect, but we've always let people know where we are, Bob.
Right.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And we've when you look at our town globally, we're doing okay.
Right. And the fact that, like you said, the firemen, because I know a couple firemen in North Providence, a good friend of mine's a fireman, and was retired now, but they were not happy with you.
Oh no.
Not happy with you at all.
But by the way, think about this. When the dust settled, after 3 years,
They come out better.
and now they're bragging they're the only Class 1 fire department in the state. And I tell them, kidding, hey, you can't tell anybody you helped me do that.
Now, what happened with that fireman that was put on by your predecessor? He was, 52 years old? I thought that was a little odd.
Was odd, and he didn't give us good service. And then he said he got hurt. He hurt his finger, and which I thought was a joke.
What do you mean he hurt his finger? I
He
thought it
said
was
he
a
hurt his
major
finger.
injury.
No, he hurt his finger right here, and he said he was picking up a stretcher or something. He hurt his finger, and so he gets a pension. So I knew it was a fraud. So I put a camera on the pole in front of his house.
No.
Oh yeah, and you'll be reading about that pretty soon.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, why would I allow you to abuse the taxpayers? And by the way, see that money, Bob, that he's getting every month?
It's over $4,000 a month.
Yes, but that needs to be put in or kept aside for the firefighter that legitimately gets
Right.
hurt.
That's right.
You
That's
get
right.
a guy that falls through a roof, he's hurt.
And they deserve to be taken care of.
I'm okay, but what bothers me is you get some of these people that will support this guy, and I'm saying, why are you supporting him?
Yeah.
I'm supporting you. I'm trying to protect the money for you. You're supporting him.
Right.
It's like you're fighting everybody
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
But that's okay. We could get it on.
It's like the people that are doing welfare fraud. They don't realize that they're taking from other people.
But that's the government's fault.
Yeah.
That's the government's fault. Just like I said, you allow people to collect 99 weeks and stay home. There's work out there.
Yeah. Oh, they're screaming for jobs. We're doing a tour of manufacturers around the state. And we were at a manufacturing plant the other day, or last week, and the average wage, although this you have to be skilled, you have to have an engineering degree. The average wage, Charlie, is $86,000 a year.
Imagine.
Average wage. He goes by a door, he goes, see that guy in there? He makes $212,000. See that guy over there? He makes $205,000. 86,000. Went to another place a few weeks back, and the company that schools people to, so they'll end up working electric boat welders,
Yeah.
hired, welders. Can't get enough welders that'll pass the drug tests.
Hey, listen.
And they make big money.
That's the same thing with, you hire someone, for the DPW, and you tell them you want them to have a CDL license.
Right.
They're reluctant because at any point in time
They
you
can
could
get
go
tested.
in.
Yes, yes.
So what does that tell you?
So what's more important to them? To get high
Yeah,
or to
and
get a job?
But here's the point. If you didn't make it easy for them to stay home for 99 weeks, they'd have to work.
Right, yeah. You got to put food on the table.
And I feel bad for those people that work for me because they're working every day.
Right.
They're providing for their family. And they're not looking to be on the gravy train, Bob. And that's sad.
And this state is probably the easiest in New England.
Hey,
It
listen,
is.
I had someone that worked for me a while back. They know all the scams. Collecting on the first of the month here on the one name, The wife was on a bus collecting in New York on the 15th under another name.
Wow. Wow.
How's that?
Wow. Well, you know, they get the free phone, they get the free heating, they get the heating assistance, right? They get the welfare every month, they get the WIC, whatever it is for the kids, right? And then they use their cards, and in some of these places, they can get whatever they want.
And
with
you
it.
feel bad for the kids because it's not their
It's
fault.
not. That's what really bothers me, because they
Not
have
their
little
fault.
kids with them, and the kids are in raggedy clothes.
Oh.
They're not taken care of, and they're buying them to appease them. They're giving them
Yep.
gum, or they're giving them candy, or whatever else. They're not taking care of the kids' health. All they're concerned about is, again, to go back to those flavored things. They get themselves high, and they sit around watching TV or listening to music, cranking, or worse, they're in the car with the kid in the back, and they get the stereo, the radio cranked to its peak, and the kid's got to live through that. The kid's got to have no hearing by the time he's 8 years old.
Yeah.
So what else is going on in Middle Spring Avenue and around the city?
So we have we have the new public safety complex, 27 million. Maybe we'll move in about a year.
Now that's going to be police
And fire. But
and
the
fire.
original was only supposed to be for police. So we went to Washington and really encouraged the Justice Department to allow it to be fire. So they said, why?
Why'd you have to do that?
Well, because the Google money was only supposed to be for police
that's
use.
right. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So we went there, and the reason why it was so important that it become fire also, Bob, is because police and fire are in the same building now.
Right.
If fire had to stay there, that would not give us the availability or the ability to sell that property.
Right.
So
right.
that was the reason why I went to Washington twice and asked them for a waiver, and they gave it to us. So now it becomes fire. Two reasons. Number one, it's in the center of town. Trucks are going downhill both ways. The response time in that area is not going to change maybe 10 seconds. Number one. More importantly, we, based on the numbers that we have from the appraiser at that property in Munson Gavin, is probably going to give us, Bob, 2 and maybe 3 years without a tax increase.
Nice.
That's the reason why it was important for fire.
What's a dollar tax increase?
Raise, we raise about, a dollar would raise maybe about 700,000, 600,000 right around
Right.
there. But the thing is, you know, again, we don't have land mass. I can't go get the citizens that's
Yeah,
going
you
to
can't.
Johnston.
You can't get industrial or commercial.
So people say to me, so I say to people, let me tell you that relates to. We buy a new fire truck. Johnston buys 2.
Right.
So I go to North Attleboro, you know, just to make sure that, you know, we check the truck out before for delivery. So we walk in the building, right? There's 3 trucks in there ready for delivery.
Right. 2 of Johnson.
2 of Johnson's, one's mine, but here's the difference. I'm paying for ours, not I. The taxpayers in North Providence are paying for this. Johnston bought those 2 trucks just on the permit fees they got on the New Citizens Bank.
Really. Really.
So think about that.
Well, he's a sharp guy too.
No, Joe, Jay,
Joe-
my dear
Joe's-
friend, we do a lot together,
Oh,
but
I
here's
know
the
you do.
point. You know, the permit fees for that building were enough of money, a revenue that came in that didn't have to tap onto the taxpayers to buy 2 new fire trucks.
Wow.
So, you know, that's the difficulty we have. We have to do it by doing more with less. So we got Wendy's coming to Middle Spring Avenue. We got Providence Bagel moving in. We got TD
What-
Bank.
What's moving in at Betty's? What's going to be at Betty's?
Cumberland Farms.
Cumberland
They
Farms.
took 8 properties.
Right.
But like I said, we got Wendy's. We got the Providence Bagel coming in. We got a new Honeydew. We got TD Bank. We got Washington Trust coming to Middle Spring Avenue. We're doing good. We're doing really good.
Wow. Wow.
And by the way, tell everybody that comes there, you come to our town, the only thing I can guarantee you will not get any hesitation from any of our inspectors. I told our inspectors, because I hated it when they did it to me.
What do you
Go
mean,
to this office,
hesitation?
go to that. Make sure you don't hold anybody up.
Oh,
Somebody
on
comes
the
in there for
permitting, to
permit,
get a building,
oh,
yeah.
Make sure you make it happen. If I find out that you've prolonged anyone's application,
Right,
you get
right.
fired.
Good for you. Well, you're a businessman. You've been a businessman.
I
That's
did-
different than having a politician. Not to knock the politicians that have just lived their life doing politics, but you bring a different perspective to the job,
Well, I hope so.
just as Dan McKee does. It's the same thing. When I see him, how he reacts and relates to people, first of all, he's a great people guy.
He is.
He's a real great people guy.
He's a little,
Too good.
He's a little calmer than I am.
Oh, no. In that respect, he's different than you. He definitely is. He's too calm sometimes.
He is.
He takes a back seat too many times. You know, I'm over there like shoving him. Get up there, get up there, get up there. You know.
Good guy. I love
He
him.
would rather put somebody else to the forefront than
He
himself.
does. He's the real deal.
That's what I say all the time to people that I
a real
run
deal.
into. We'll be at the place, and it's funny because we'll go to some place down in East Greenwich or Westerly or whatever, and the people will know who I am,
Yeah.
and they don't know who he is. And it's funny. It's funny that I get them, and I'll go, Dan, get up there, get up there.
He's
get
just a
up there."
good guy. I mean, he brings so much to the table. He brings smart man.
And not only that, he works. So, I mean, I'm with him sometimes the entire day. And I was with him I think it was Wednesday. We went to Tiverton. We went to Little Compton, Portsmouth, North Providence, see you, then back down to Middletown and Newport, all on the same day.
Good guy. Listen, again, you know, I think he does a magnificent job. He's the right guy for the job, and he's going to be the right guy to be the next governor.
Yes, yeah, I think so.
And I want to help him because I know what he represents. I know what he stands for. And I know how honorable he is.
Yeah.
See, and the other thing is I know where he comes from.
And he doesn't forget where he comes from.
That's the
Like
biggest
you.
thing. You
Yeah.
can't forget where you came from.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know? So, and he relates to people. Once he talks to you, you respect him. You trust him. I do.
He went to the wedding of a young kid that played basketball for him, this black kid. He was from, I don't know what country in Africa, whatever. And he had promised the kid, if he went to college and he did a couple things, that he would be there for him in his later life. He went down, they had a location wedding. I think it was in Cancun or somewhere in Mexico. He went, him
loves
and
the
his
kids.
wife, he went to the damn wedding.
Listen, he loves the kids. Look at the youth program he started in Cumberland. And
The
by the
Boys
way,
and
we
Girls
picked
Club,
up on that. I said to my wife one night, I said, something's going on in Cumberland. We need to go there, to the monastery.
And what
Where
was
we
that?
going
What
there?
was that?
That was to establish a youth commission for the town because Cumberland had it prior to us. But I knew he had formed it because he wanted to get the youth involved in the community and make sure that they had a voice. So they had a direct connection to the mayor's office. It's fantastic. We did the same thing.
Yep.
We did the same thing, and it's been great for our
I'm
kids.
amazed how often they meet. How often your group meet?
Every Monday night.
That every week.
And
once
we
a
had
week.
we had 67 individuals graduate the other night, and to hear some of the statements that they made as to why they joined the youth commission, why they stayed there. I mean, we got kids that are getting 4-year scholarships now, and when the college sends them their acceptance, they've told 3 of them so far it's because of your involvement in the community. You know how great that makes you feel?
Wow.
You know?
Well, you know, I notice it because I look at everything. I look around as a photographer and a videographer, and I'm there watching you up there with the kids. And I told you this off camera. You haven't seen the pictures yet, but I saw how the kids, you know, kids, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, usually, if you're a guy your age or my age up talking, they'd be like this. They'd be on their phone, or they'd be chatting away, or they'd be loud, or be doing whatever. You had their attention. You had their attention.
Yeah.
Even Dan, when he went up there, and I only say even Dan because he's not from North Providence specifically. You're the mayor of the town. But even when Dan get up there, even when the other, who's the tall guy? What is he?
He's the principal, Joe Goho. Very well
Every
respected.
person that went up there, these kids,
Respected and paid attention to.
the undivided attention.
But you know, when a kid gets up there and he makes a statement that I don't know, never thought I would ever be able to get up in front of people and address a crowd like
Right.
this. I mean, come on. It's like, it's fantastic. To me,
Yep.
that's what says it all,
Yep.
you know?
And you can see it. You can see it in the kids, the way they react. You know, I did public speaking in high school and in college, and you know, I'm not afraid to talk in front of people. But that is not an easy thing to do for a lot of people.
Especially if you're, you know, a kid that like you really never get involved in it. But that's what it does for them. It brings them out. It gets them involved. And by the way, you know, sometimes we think we know it all. We don't know.
Not
A kid will mention something to me. I say, "Gee, why didn't I think of that?" No, all kidding aside. So it's going good. It's good.
Now, what else you got going on in North Providence that we should know about? Anything else? Anything else happening in North
Everything else is
Providence?
in pretty good. You know, we're moving along. We just proposed a budget. The council just acted on our budget after 3 hearings, and we're giving the taxpayers a budget this year, no tax increase.
Nice.
And we're also investing in some new recreational property because, again, well, let me say this to you, Bob. We were in such financial straits, so to say, that in the last 30 years, population in North Providence has increased about 30%.
30%?
Yeah, last 30 years. We haven't built one additional field for the kids.
Wow.
So we had to address it.
Sure.
So we're buying 2 pieces of property. We're going to put 2 multi-use fields in and give the kids more area for recreation. That's my goal now. And as you know, we get that Camp Meehan that we purchased. Actually, all the renovations, we got maybe $150,000 in that property. We've gotten close to $1 million in grants. And by the way, that was scheduled for 48 condominium development.
Really?
And I'm saying, gee, why aren't we protecting this land for our kids, their kids, and their kids?
You got to have some open space.
But when you're dealing with politicians, you know, they're looking to pick it up with a dump truck. So
Right. Yeah.
me, I come from business, we're protecting the land.
Well, I think that's the big key. First of all, your personality, your temperament, but the fact that you're a businessman makes the world of difference. And that's what the city needed. That's what the city needed.
Yeah. Well, hopefully people are satisfied. I think they are, and we'll continue to do what we're doing.
This is not an election year for you. Is
No,
it?
2 more.
2 more years.
Not this year. 2 more years.
2 more years.
I think I want to go 1 more term.
1 more term. That's my next question.
Yeah. If you talk to my children, it's over.
Really?
Well, they think that, but I told them, Bob, I'm having a good time. Yeah. How could you have a good time? I said, have a good time.
How many vacations? How many state trips not state trips? How many out-of-state trips have you taken? They just did a story on
0.
0.
Yeah.
What about the story on the mayor of Providence?
Yeah. Well, I can't answer for that.
176 days or something total that he spent out of town.
Maybe that's why we need the cameras, and that's why we got to sell the water.
Well, what do you think of the cameras, by the way?
Well, I don't think that won't happen in North Providence. But by the way, if you do have, I do have an opinion on that. If you have an intersection that's a problem, I would do is I tell everyone there's a camera. And the first time you're going to get a break.
Yep. Second time.
The second time, maybe it's going to be 25. The third time,
Right.
now
you
maybe
hit
the
'em.
95 or the
Right,
100.
now you hit 'em. Not once off the, not out of the gate.
Listen, my wife got it, 95.
Really?
Yeah. I was so upset. And she said, that wasn't me. I said, yeah,
Yes,
that's,
it
that's
was.
your car.
Yes.
They send you the picture, Bob.
I know.
That's your car. And see the time of the day? Wasn't me. You better cut the check.
Well, you could beat it because they can't prove the way they do it with that
Yeah.
kid. They only have one camera.
Yeah, right.
They don't get a picture of.
No,
the
they have my
driver.
license plate. No,
Yeah,
not
I
the
know.
driver.
But they could, if you wanted to fight that, you could beat that
Yeah.
in court. Whereas the red light ticket I got on North Main Street, right, at Branch Avenue, they have a permanent one there, and they take a picture of the driver. They got it right through the windshield. They take a picture of the license plate close up, and another picture of you actually going through the red light. I was under the light. I was literally under the light. Here's the light. I was like this, but they nailed. But I was red
Listen,
light.
all you need to do is watch, Caught, Frank Caprio, Judge Caprio.
Yeah.
The girl goes, it's not me. He goes, excuse me, is that your car?
I love that. But hey, they scored a lot. They made a lot of money for a short time, right?
But again, I don't know. Again, I don't run that city, so they could do what they got to do.
Now, would you ever be a sanctuary city?
Would I be a sanctuary city?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Are we still on camera?
Ask me anything. Ask me anything.
Behave.
That's a tough call. I don't
Yeah,
want
it
you
is,
to
it is.
answer. I don't want you to answer it.
But in any case, all in all, look, I have a good time. I
You
really do.
And you work a lot. I mean, you're there all the time.
All the time.
You're working, and your head man.
My
there.
chief of staff,
Chief of staff.
Dick was
What
a
a
former,
guy.
former mayor. I
What
couldn't.
a
I
guy.
couldn't do it without him. I mean, here's another guy come from the street, came from hard work, started
Sure.
driving a Coke truck, became the executive vice president of Coca-Cola. I mean, so he
Yeah,
came from
something on
big
the ball.
business, right? He came from big business. I come from small business.
Right.
We have a great time. I couldn't do it without him.
Now, how long has he been around with you?
We've been, say together. We've been together for 40 years.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's
Yeah.
a good guy.
So let me tell you how I met him. 2 more minutes, right?
Go ahead.
So we go to a meeting. I'm a volunteer fireman. I'm in business, but I'm spending time in the neighborhood. So we're gonna buy a new fire truck, right? So the mayor, Sal, at the time, we met for 6 months. The guys at the fire station, we had a committee of 6 people to draw the specs for this new truck.
Right.
Now they call us into a meeting, Sal Mancini. Now he's got the guy from another company,
Oh, really?
the truck. So there was already a truck made that he's going to convince us that this is the truck we need.
Uh-huh.
So everybody's backing off. I said, you're kidding me, right? I said, we've been meeting for 6 months, drawing specs for this truck, and
You
you
already
already
made
knew what you wanted to do. I don't have time for this, I told him, right? And we got into it pretty good. Foster said, hey, who is this guy? I like him. We became friends.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've listen, we've won together, we've lost together, we've laughed together, we've cried together.
Right, right.
He's just, my kids call him uncle.
Yeah?
Yep. And they don't call him uncle just to call him uncle. He's part of our family, and I like to think we're part of his.
Well, that's good. You definitely have the relationship. You can
Well,
tell. You can tell you have a real good
Best,
relationship.
Yep. We do good. We do good.
Yeah, he's a down to earth guy. He's a
is.
real deal.
He's an honorable guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he's
He's
an
an
old
hon-
school Italian, is what he
Yeah.
is.
And he's just
Right.
he's old school.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
his mentality. He's just, you want to talk about not forgetting where you came from? He's the guy.
Well, we're just about out of time, and you spent an hour with Bob there.
Listen, it's about time you invited me.
I know. We
What
go
are you
back a
kidding?
long time. My God, that's crazy. No, again, like I said, my good friend is a former firefighter, and he's not going to be happy with me for having you on the show. But
Well,
I
that's
said,
okay.
You know something?
So he'll get over it.
He'll get over it.
Right?
Well, yeah, hopefully get over
Hey,
the whole
so
thing
so
anyway.
listen, by the way, because you got the nice tie, the jacket, the pants. So who's your dry cleaner? Why can't I be your dry cleaner?
True. That's right. Actually, sometimes
I'm
I
asking
do,
you
though.
publicly for your business.
Okay, you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Everyone heard this.
You got it. Do you know that when Sal Mancini died, because he was like an uncle to me, when
Yeah.
Sal Mancini died, I put together a collage of photographs that I had from him, and I wrote, because I have pretty good penmanship for 9 years of Catholic school, getting whacked over the hand and everything, and I wrote this little thing about Sal Mancini. It's about 3 or 4 paragraphs, or 3 or 4 lines, not paragraphs, 3 or 4 sentences, and I gave it to the family, and it ended up, he was laid out at the
The library.
library. The casket's here. Right next to the casket, they had this 20 by
Collage.
30 collage on the wall
Nice.
there.
Nice.
And it was in the library. I don't know where it is now, if it is
So
even
they have a nice statue of him in the library.
there.
Yeah. I got to check that out.
Yeah,
I
see
will.
if it's still around. Because I was pretty moved by the
Yeah.
fact, so people would go up to the, wait
Casket,
to
yeah.
pay,
And they look
pay
at that.
and they would get
Nice.
to look at it. And there was
Good.
all pictures of Sal around the city and at
Was
different
my picture
events.
there?
I don't know. I don't remember. But it was pretty cool that
No,
they
he's a
used
good
my
guy.
whole collage, all the pictures and photos by, some of them I had signed, previously.
A little different. Those days, you could do some of the things he did.
Yeah.
You could never even think about
No,
that today.
guys, no, not a chance.
But
Not a
in any
chance.
case, that's
Well,
it.
Mayor, thank you for stopping
Bob,
by.
pleasure. Thanks
It's a
for
pleasure,
the
and
invitation.
it's an honor to be a friend of
No,
yours.
no. Same here. Same here.
And folks, thank you for spending an hour with Bob. And John. John, you're leaving me, John. John Flanagan's leaving me. I
John,
need help.
Good help,
I need a
John.
new director on an hour with Bob.
Good help.
Help, help, help. See ya. Until next time, folks.